because the song, "O Christmas Tree," is originally from Germany. And so's the whole idea of the Christmas tree, for that matter. Some people believe that the tradition of the Christmas tree was started by a German monk named Martin Luther. One Christmas Eve, Martin was walking through a forest when he was struck by the beauty of the stars shining through the evergreen trees. So he took a tree home and fastened candles to its branches. Today, because of the danger of fire, most people use electric lights.
Countdown to Christmas. The 4 weeks leading up to Christmas are called Advent. It's a time when Christians prepare for the celebration to come.
In many German homes, an Advent wreath marks the weeks before Christmas. Each Sunday, another candle is lit.
Lots of German children also use an Advent calendar to help them keep track of the days left till Christmas. Every day, a window is open to a new holiday picture, and often there's a piece of candy or a toy inside too.
In the Northern Hemisphere, Christmas happens at the darkest time of the year, when the days are shortest and the nights are longest. And that's one reason that candles and lights are such an important part of many Christmas traditions.
The two halves of the globe are known as the Northern and Southern
Hemispheres!
My country, Sweden, is so far north that in some parts the sun barely rises for 2 whole months. Here the Christmas season begins on December 13th, St. Lucia Day. Lucia was a young Italian girl who brought food to Christians hiding in caves from the Roman emperor. She lit her way through the caves by wearing a crown of candles. As the oldest girl in my family, I get to play St. Lucia. Very early in the morning, I wake up and make sweet saffron buns and strong Swedish coffee. Then I put on my crown of candles and bring the food to my parents. Lucia brought light into a dark place. Her name Lucia even means light. That's something everyone in Sweden longs for in December. I hope you have a bright and Merry Christmas, or as we say in Sweden, God Jul.
In England, people used to bring a giant tree into their homes and burn one end of it in the fireplace. They lit it from what was left of the previous year's tree and called it the Yule log.
In France, the favorite Christmas dessert is the bûche de Noël, which means the Christmas log.
When the French wish each other Merry Christmas, they say,
Joyeux Noël!
In Italy, families put together a beautiful set of statues at Christmas time. It's called a presepio, and it tells the story of Jesus' birth.
Christians believe that long ago in a place called Palestine, the Roman emperor commanded that everyone should go to the city of his birth to be counted. So a young couple named Joseph and Mary set out on a journey to the town of Bethlehem where Joseph had been born.
Mary found the trip especially hard because she was about to have a baby. When they finally reached Bethlehem, things got even worse. The town's only inn was full. Joseph and Mary ended up staying in its stable where the horses and cattle slept. That very night, Mary gave birth to a son. She named him Jesus and laid him in a manger.
Now out in the pastures nearby, shepherds were keeping watch over their flocks of sheep. Imagine how surprised they were when an angel suddenly showed up. But the angel said, "Don't be afraid, I've got good news for you. Tonight a child has been born, and he's going to bring peace to the world."
The shepherds hurried over to the stable to greet this special baby, and they weren't alone. Far off in the east, 3 wise men had noticed an incredibly bright star. They believed it signaled the birth of a mighty king. So they followed that star all the way to Bethlehem. When they found Jesus at last, the wise men knelt down and offered him expensive gifts.
The presepio is usually set up many days before Christmas. Along with the scene of Jesus' birth, little gifts and candies are placed on the presepio shelves. They're given out on Christmas Day, which is also when the figure of baby Jesus is finally placed in the manger.
Some Italians eat up to 13 different kinds of fish at their holiday dinner, including squid and eel.
When Italians wish each other Merry Christmas, they say,
on the tablet.
At its heart, Christmas is a religious celebration. On the night before Christmas, known as Christmas Eve, people from all over the world come to worship in Bethlehem, the place Christians believe Jesus was born. On the very spot where they say the stable stood stands the Church of the Nativity, which means the church of the birth of Christ. The doorway is so narrow and low, you have to bend over to get inside.
Another word for birth is
Nativity!
in Caracas, Venezuela, church services happen very early on the mornings leading up to Christmas. To make sure they don't miss church, children tie a string to their big toe and hang the other end out the window. Then roller skaters come by at dawn to pull on the strings and wake them up.
When Venezuelans wish each other Merry Christmas, they say,
Feliz Navidad!
In many Mexican communities, Mary and Joseph's search for shelter is acted out over 9 evenings before Christmas Eve in a celebration called Posadas. Led by someone dressed as an angel and others dressed up as Mary and Joseph, people go from house to house asking to be let in. When they come to the house that's been chosen for that night's festivities, the group splits in two.
one side pretends to be the innkeepers, and the other, the family seeking a place to stay. Then, everyone goes inside, first to pray, then to have a party.
In the Bible story of Jesus' birth, 3 wise men traveled from far away to honor the baby with gifts fit for a king. Well, fortunately for kids everywhere, that gift-giving tradition lives on today. Here in America, presents are often handed out by Santa Claus. And around the world, there are many other gift givers just like him.
In England, children write wish lists to Father Christmas, who looks like a skinnier version of America's Santa Claus. Then, the kids toss their letters into the fire. Father Christmas reads the smoke to discover their heart's desire.
In Russia, an old woman named Babushka delivers the presents. Legend has it that she refused to join the 3 wise men on their way to baby Jesus. Later, she felt sorry that she'd stayed home. So on Christmas Eve, Babushka visits sleeping children hoping to find Jesus. And everywhere she goes, she leaves sweets and toys.
In Italy, gifts are brought by a witch named La Befana, but she delivers her presents on January 6th, also known as Epiphany, the day the 3 wise men arrived in Bethlehem.
People in Iceland believe in 13 Christmas spirits. Not only do they bring gifts, they also bring mischief. They include Meat Hooker, who tries to steal the Christmas roast, and Door Slammer, who wakes up the household by slamming doors.
Sweden's Christmas season brings out the wee folk, too. Tomte carries treats to every child who leaves food for him. The rest of the year, he lives under the floorboards in the barn and protects the farming owners.
Tomte hasn't been to your home? Well, you can still get plenty of Christmas goodies at the Christkindlmarkt. From the beginning of December on, these outdoor markets spring up on every street corner in Germany. Artists sell handmade crafts like wooden toys, handmade ornaments, and candles. Nearby food stalls sizzle with sausages and Glühwein, a hot spiced drink that people enjoy at Christmas time.
In Hawaii, where it's warm in December, Christmas dinner is often a traditional luau, complete with a pig roasting in a pit, ukulele music, and hula dancing.
Many Hawaiians wish each other Merry Christmas by saying,
Mela Kalikimaka. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
Ho, ho, ho! I think we've got carolers at the door. Christina, why don't you go let them in? I'll go get some hot chocolate.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Christmas tree, how steadfast are your branches. Oh, Christmas tree, how steadfast are your branches. Your boughs are green in summer's clime, and through the snows of winter time. Oh, Christmas tree, how steadfast are your branches. Oh, Tannenbaum, treut sind deine Blätter. O Tannenbaum, wie treut sind deine Blätter. Du großneck noser Sommerzeit, nein, auch in Winter wenig schneit. O Tannenbaum, wie treut sind deine Blätter.
You guys were terrific. Where does the whole idea of caroling come from?
Well, caroling is an English tradition from the late Middle Ages. Groups of singers called wakes traveled from house to house, spreading the spirit of Christmas in song.
The sky was streaked with pink and gold as Pedro reached Pepita's house. "Come, cousin," he said. "Already the sun is going to bed. Soon Santa Maria's will be full, and I want a place near the altar so I can see all the presents for the Christ child." Pepita stood in the doorway. Her dress was worn but clean, and in her hand she held a small bouquet of wildflowers, but her eyes, usually so bright, were dim with sorrow. "Pepita," Pedro said as they walked to the church, "why are you sad? It's Christmas Eve, the most wonderful night of the year. Our whole village will gather as one to welcome baby Jesus to the world." But Pepita only shook her head. "Everyone else will welcome him with fine gifts. You yourself are bringing him a pretty cake. But poor as I am, I have nothing to offer but a bunch of weeds." The night closed in around them, but even in the darkness, Pedro could see that his cousin wept. At the church, friends and neighbors greeted each other and admired the many gifts. All had brought something special for the babe in the manger, each more splendid than the next. As Pepita laid her bouquet on the altar, her tears fell upon the ragged flowers. Then Pedro gasped, "Look, Pepita, your flowers!" Slowly, Pepita raised her gaze to where her bouquet had been, and she too stared in wonder, for before her very eyes, the weeds were transformed into beautiful red star-shaped flowers. Pepita's simple gift was valued above all others, not for its price, but for the love with which it was given.
The red flowers in the story belong to a poinsettia plant, like this one.
And like the story of Pedro and Pepita, the poinsettia comes from Mexico.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Oh, hi. I'm so excited that you're here. Today is the first day of Advent, and it's all about hope.
Hey, Pancho, if you are conversing about hope, I'm your guy.
Hi, Stuffy. I hope you can talk to us about hope. I think he's our guy.
Every year, children hope they will get stockings like me filled with toys and candy. Hope is like a wish, Pancho.
That is a good way to think about hope. Like a wish. Have you ever made a wish? Me too. A wish is when we think of the things that we want in our life and we hope for them.
Like things even bigger and better than toys and candy?
Yes, even bigger and better than toys and candy. At Christmas time, we think about hope because it's a gift that we've all received.
Does it come in a Christmas stocking?
No, Stuffy. Hope is so big that it can only be held in our hearts. And when you hold hope in your hearts, then you know that the best things you want in your life can come true for us.
Big things in life? Like love and peace and friends?
Exactly. Love, peace, and friends are some of the biggest things in life, wouldn't you say? Me too.
Me 3.
Stuffy, you're such a good friend. When you hold hope in your heart, then all the big and good things in life are possible. See you next time.